Hey guys, I'm Chris and this is Headlight Revolution. Today we are going to review the newest LED headlight for 7-inch round sealed beam replacements on the market. And this is the Vortex LED headlight technology by Vision X. Now Vision X is an American company based out of Washington State, and they have a factory for producing all their parts in South Korea. So this product is made in South Korea, but it's designed, engineered in America, and it comes in a single light kit for a motorcycle, or you can buy it in a 2-light kit for a motorhome or a classic car or a Jeep or a hot rod or anything that you have that has 7-inch round headlights. Now, the big idea with this light is it'll replace any 7-inch H6024 sealed beam headlight. And that's going to be what you find in a lot of your older vehicles and a lot of the industrial vehicles, military vehicles. It's your standard 7-inch round headlight. And it even is a replacement for the new Jeep Wrangler that has factory 7-inch round composite headlights. Now a sealed beam headlight, now this is a sealed beam headlight. This is a rectangular version, but you get the same idea. You have all the lines and the fluting and the glass, and you cannot remove the bulb. When this burns out, you have to replace the whole thing. And it's all made of glass all the way around. And this is sealed beam. It means that the filament for the light is sealed inside the housing. You can't replace it. So any 7-inch round version sealed beam headlight, the new Vision X 7-inch round LED headlight will replace. So let's look at it. You can see it comes in this box. It says 7-inch kit includes 2 Vortex 7-inch LED headlights. So 2 identical headlights. These are DOT approved, left-hand drive, right-hand traffic, the way that we drive in America. And they're very well built. And one of the things that's impressive about it is the packaging. There's a lot of information on here. It's a nice box. It's nice packaging. It really gives you a good idea of what you are buying before you even get to it. And when we open up this box, you see they're also packaged individually inside. So if you just bought the single light, this is all you would get, just this box. And before we open it up and turn it on, the packaging actually shows you how the light works. You see the top is our low beam. There's a reflector, half moon shape in the middle on top, and then 2 smaller LEDs on the side for low beam. High beam is just the bottom 2 lights, and then it also has an integrated halo. More on that in just a minute. When you open up the package, it's a very nice package. If you like packaging, you'll like these lights. Lights come out, they have a protective plastic sheet right here, and then the lights have another protective plastic sheet on the lens. So now we are to the light itself. It comes with a harness, and it comes with a tap, a plastic tap for the halo wire, and we'll show you how that works in a little bit. The first thing I'm going to point out is that this headlight is 100% LED. It does not use HID, it does not use halogen, it does not use replaceable light bulbs. The whole housing has integrated LEDs, and they are just in there. There's nothing to ever replace. This is a lifetime type of a product. Install it in your vehicle once, so you'll never have to do any maintenance on it again. That's the idea. So it has 5 LEDs. The top half moon shape is a reflector with 1 LED up there that shoots downward and creates your horizontal spread. You have 2 smaller LEDs on either side in the middle of the light below the low beam, and that is also part of the low beam, but it creates kind of a flood effect just to kind of fill in some extra light. And then you have the 2 conical shaped reflectors at the bottom, and those are your high beams. Now the way this works is when you turn on low beam, just the low beam's on, and we turn on high beam, just the high beam's on. Now some vehicles energize both circuits at the same time, but if yours is one that only energizes the low beam and only energizes the high beam circuit, Vision X does have a plug and play kit to do quad high beams, which means both headlights would do low and high beam together for high beam. So if your vehicle has separate low and high circuits, you're definitely going to want that. It's an extra wire harness that you can buy from Vision X. It's plug and play. Now at the top of the headlight, behind the lens, embossed in the bezel itself, is the Vision X logo. And then at the bottom, actually printed on the lens, is the 3 letters DOT, which stands for Department of Transportation. This is important if you want something that's actually legal to use on the highway, or if you're getting inspected, or you need to know that your product is safe and legal to use on public roads. You need to have something that's DOT approved. Now if we flip the light around, you notice that it's a pretty plain, there's really not a whole lot to the back side. The thing I like about it is it's very small, it's very low profile. It's probably one of the most low profile LED 7-inch round headlights that we've seen. So there's no question that this one's gonna fit in any vehicle that uses a 7-inch round headlight. A lot of them that are out there, like the ones from Go Recon or Pilot or Nolden or United Pacific, all of theirs are made in China or Taiwan. And they're really bulky on the backside. They require modification to the vehicle to fit most applications, but the Vision X one is low profile enough that it's gonna fit anything, which is really something that sets us apart. There's no markings or indications back here on anything. There's really not a whole lot to point out. There's some letters and numbers printed right here. I'm guessing that's just some proprietary code to use in their manufacturing. You can see that it does have the 3 alignment tabs so that you can't put it in wrong or upside down. And then this section right here kind of protrudes from the middle, and then coming off of that are 4 wires and a waterproof grommet. Now this light is IP68, so all of this hardware in the back should be sealed to the same rating. Now we have a red, black, white, and blue wire. Red, black, and blue are your high and low beam functions for the headlight, and the white wire comes off the harness separate. This is your positive trigger wire for the halo. This is the only 7-inch round LED headlight out there that comes with a proper halo. If you had some LED headlight from a different company and wanted to put the halo on, you're looking at spending upwards of $500 per headlight just to get a nice halo installed that actually looks good. So the fact that this headlight has the halo already built in is a pretty cool feature. So I'm gonna finish showing you the harness, and then we're gonna power it on and you can see what the headlight looks like. Now this is something that nobody else is doing. They have this 4-pin connector, and you can actually get different connectors that plug into this. On the box, it actually indicates an option for H9, H11, which tells me that a Harley-Davidson specific wire harness model should be available. You can get it with the H4 connector for most classic vehicles and industrial vehicles, or you can get it with H13 if you have a Jeep Wrangler or something that takes an H13. So you can actually get this housing, all one part number, with different connectors for it. So this is the H4 connector, comes with the kit, but you can also get a high 4 adapter harness that plugs in line right here, so that you can have high beam and low beam on at the same time. And they also have a plug and play anti-flicker harness adapter for if you have a Jeep Wrangler with flickering issues on the headlight, which is common from 2007 to 2014 and up Jeep Wranglers. So Vision X kind of has the whole package ready to go. They're not missing anything. It's a nice looking headlight. It's super bright. It's DOT approved, has an extended warranty. You've got different wiring configurations. It's already got the halo, so you don't have to pay extra money to have that put in. So let me turn it on and you can see what it looks like, and then we'll do some comparison testing against the wall. So we have the power supply turned on, and we're gonna connect the ground wire to the black wire on the connector. And the middle blue wire here is low beam positive, and the red wire is high beam positive. And then this white wire uses a common ground with the rest of the harness. So as long as we have a ground hooked up here, we can turn on the halo. Now, where are you going to wire in the halo? Obviously, the 3-pin connector that it comes with is going to be plug and play for your application, whether it's H4, H9, H11, or H13. But where are you going to hook up the halo wire? Now, the headlight itself is already grounded, so all you need to do is find a good positive wire. There's a few ways you can do that. You can wire it straight up to your ignition in the fuse box. You can wire it up to your parking lights. You can wire turn on with the headlights, or you could wire it into a switch inside the vehicle so you have complete power of when it's on and when it's off. First, we have the low beam. As you can see, it's only the top half of the light is turned on, and we have the half moon reflector at the top is our main beam pattern, and then each of these small round LEDs on either side are our minor flood filler light. That is what makes up the low beam. Now, if we turn on the high beam, the low beam will shut off and only that bottom light will turn on. Now, this is just the high beam, and this is a really cool light. It's kind of like, sort of reminds me of a miniature spotlight. It's very bright, has a lot of distance. We were playing with this outside the other night, and it's a pretty wild high beam. Normally with LED headlights, you have to sacrifice your high beam for a really nice low beam, and this light kind of has everything. Now, if you have the high 4 adapter sold separately, we can even have all high beam and low beam turned on at the same time. Now, for the halo, this can be wired up completely independently. You can have this wired up to your parking lights or to a switch on your dash or just to your ignition so they're on all the time, however you want. It's a really nice, subtle halo, but it's bright enough to know, like, yeah, there's definitely a halo in this light. The Vision X Vortex 7-inch round LED headlight is a 13 watt, 1050 lumen low beam and a 20 watt, 1720 lumen high beam. It's DOT approved, has a hybrid aluminum polycarbonate housing for extra durability, has a UV resistant polycarbonate lens. It's available in a single light kit, the XIL-7RD, or a 2-light kit, the XIL-7RD kit. Fits any PAR 56, H6017, or H6024 7-inch round housing. It has 3 modes, high beam, low beam, and halo, is DOT certified, and has a waterproof rating of IP68. This LED headlight has a lifespan of 50,000 hours and an input voltage range of 9 to 32 volts DC. Currently, it is available in chrome, but we've been hearing rumors that it's going to be available in black. Now, just to give some perspective on this new Vision X product light output, we're going to compare it to the other DOT approved 7-inch round LED headlight on the market, the JW Speaker 8700. The JW Speaker is made in America, also with a lifetime warranty. It's DOT approved and it's all LED. So this should be a pretty good comparison from one light to the other. So first we're going to show you the original sealed beam housing. That's what this light was originally intended for if you have a 7-inch round sealed beam headlight. This is probably a good example of what your headlights look like now. This is the low beam, and here's the high beam. Sure, it's enough to drive with if you don't want to see anything. And it's got kind of a yellow, dingy color. Lots of weird, like, shadows kind of all over the place. It's not very wide, it's not very tall, and it's stock. Sealed beam, 7-inch headlight. You're gonna see that the Vision X LED headlight that would replace this is way brighter and has a much better, more usable beam pattern than this original headlight. Here's the Vision X XIL-7RD. Here we are 22 feet away from the wall. And you can already see at this short of a distance how massive the beam pattern is. So here's the far left corner. You can see as we get to the middle, there's definitely a strong kind of hot spot. And then as we go to the far right, you can see it fades out. So you can see it's an absolutely huge wide beam pattern. A lot of the Chinese and Taiwan LED headlights that we see have a little tiny beam pattern that's like, you know, like half the size of this one, like this. But this thing's totally huge. So right off the bat, it's a very impressive sized beam, and the color is perfect. It's like a pure white 5500K. I'm not sure if it's exactly a 5000 or exactly a 6000, but it's really, really nice. And if we point it at the ceiling, you can see that the band of light that's your main output is not very tall at all, but it does have a lot of flood coming off of the headlight. So here you can see the light disappears, and as I bring it down, we have more of a dim light, and it's this massive, absolutely huge flood of light. And as we get closer to the center, you can see it lights up. So it's kind of an optical illusion that the light is only so tall because you have a ton of extra kind of auxiliary flood going on underneath the light. And then we go, and if you remember, those two little round lights on either side of the housing, if I cover those up, you'll see what they do. Without them, all we have is just the horizontal beam pattern. But if I take my hands off the little round lights on either side of the housing, you can see our flood opens up. So that creates a lot of usable light. It's almost like there's an extra fog light built into this housing. That's not going to be long distance. That's just going to be there to illuminate your foreground. Now if we turn on the high beam, you can see it's this amazing, super huge spotlight. This is probably the best high beam that we've ever seen from an LED headlight. The color is kind of interesting. I'll show you the difference between the color on this one and the low beam. This is not so much a pure white. It does have some coloring to it. But you can see how big it is. If we go all the way down from the top, you can see the high beam flood starts way far away from the center. And then we have kind of this outline shape with a hot focal point at the top of almost like a diamond shaped beam pattern. If we go down, you can see again, we've got a lot of flood. Now, if I turn both of them on at the same time, you can see there's our low beam and there's our high beam. Now together, you have kind of the best of both worlds. You have a ton of high beam, long distance light, and you still have the left to right output, along with all the flood that accompanies it. This is a very impressive amount of light. So here's the low beam, and you throw on the high beam. Low beam, high beam. The halo does not produce enough light to show against the wall, so we aren't even going to demo that in this environment. Now, for example, just to show the other leader 7-inch round LED headlight, this is the one from JW Speaker. You can see it's got a very wide beam pattern. We're at the exact same distance as a Vision X light, and one thing that I'm going to say about the two different lights is they are different. They are way different from each other, totally different types of beams, but I don't think I can really say that one is better than the other. It kind of depends on what you like the best. You can see here's the JW Speaker high beam, and here's the low beam. The only thing that changes is that little section at the top. Now the high beam, it's kind of deceiving in this environment. That is a very impressive high beam when you're shooting it down the road, so don't let that fool you. So here you can see just the JW Speaker 8700 7-inch round, and if we bring down the other one, you can also see here, this is the Vision X Vortex 7-inch round. Now if we match up the edges and just do a width comparison, this is going to be kind of tricky. I'm watching the far right side and trying to keep them even, and you can see that the Vision X light is actually a little bit wider. So we put them side by side and overlapped. You can see that the JW Speaker light is significantly taller. There's actually a lot more light on the low beam of the Vision X one, but look what happens when we go to high beam. So here's just the JW Speaker 8700 LED on high beam. It has both low beam and high beam illuminated. And then here is the Vision X Vortex 7-inch round LED high beam with low beam and high beam illuminated. Here at Headlight Revolution, we always want to stay current on the newest headlight products that are coming out, whether they're HID, LED, or whatever's next. So thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see other videos like this, check out our channel, and of course, subscribe. If you have a question, comment below the video, or contact us at www.headlightrevolution.com. If you like this light and want to buy one for yourself, again, contact us. We have them in stock and ready to go. If you want to know what other options are available for your car or truck, contact us, headlightrevolution.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.